Our next is 6.5, 9:10 a.m., presentation of proclamation designating the month of October 2023 as Pregnancy and Infant Loss Awareness Month in Lake County. So we've been doing this proclamation the last couple of years, and I really like to just talk about what's difficult to talk about. And infant and pregnancy loss touches all of us. If there's anyone in the chambers that would like to come up here and join me, you're welcome to. If you don't want to, that's okay too. Come on up. Thank you. Board of Supervisors, County of Lake, State of California, proclamation designating the month of October 2023 as Pregnancy and Infant Loss Awareness Month in Lake County. Whereas pregnancy and infant loss is more common than we realize, it is estimated that in the United States that 1 in 4 pregnancies ends in a miscarriage, 1 in 72 pregnancies ends in stillbirth, and 1 in 200 infants die before their first birthday. Whereas many Lake County parents and families have suffered a miscarriage, a stillbirth, or the death of an infant during delivery or shortly after birth, and such a terrible loss is often not recognized. And whereas Lake County wishes to acknowledge the profound grief experienced by families who suffer the death of a small child, infant, or preterm baby. And whereas even the shortest lives are still valuable, and the grief of those who mourn the loss of those lives is significant. And whereas the 15th day of October is recognized in the United States and around the world as a day of remembrance and awareness of pregnancy and infant loss, when supporters honor these losses by lighting a candle at 7 p.m. And whereas increased awareness of the causes and impacts surrounding pregnancy and infant loss may lead to greater understanding, support, and resources in communities across Lake County. And whereas recognizing Pregnancy and Infant Loss Awareness Month and Remembrance Day would enable the people of Lake County to consider how, as individuals and communities, they can meet the needs of bereaved mothers, fathers, and family members and work to prevent the causes of these deaths. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed, the Board of Supervisors do hereby proclaim October 2023 as Pregnancy and Infant Loss Awareness Month in Lake County, California, and encourage parents, caregivers, and all residents to become educated in opportunities to prevent pregnancy and infant loss and support bereaved families when prevention is not possible. Passed and adopted this 3rd day of October 2023. This is always a hard one for me, but it's really important that we bring attention to this. I suffered multiple miscarriages, and my first daughter was stillborn on her due date. And I know we've got Motherwise represented here in Lake Family Resources. We also have hospice that provides grief counseling to families at no cost. So we do have a lot of resources. This is something that's very isolating. It's very hard to deal with. But as we move forward on and on, we have more and more resources in our county to support the families that go through this. And it is more common than we realize. And every year, more and more of this touches us. And I want to thank everyone for being here. I want to thank all of you for stepping up. And I want to thank all the resources that we have out there that are here to support these families. Thank you so much. And Tom, do you have something? Are you going to share about the Wave of Light event?
I thought maybe you would share about it, but what Supervisor Pice is talking about is on. It got pulled on earlier, and I think that's what happened. Thank you. What Supervisor Pyska is talking about is on October 15th at the place called That Ranch. We were going to have a celebration of the light to remember for all those of us who have lost children. I lost my second daughter, Alexis, 3 days after birth, 47 years ago, and she still stays with me in my heart. Do I say something?
I just want to thank you guys for acknowledging Infant Loss Awareness Month. I had a miscarriage a week ago. So, yes, it's very nice to be up here with the support and that it's being brought to light and more talked about.
Okay, I want to see if there's anyone in the chambers or in the Zoom room. Or, I'm sorry, board members first.
Yeah.
Vice Chair Simon.
The acknowledgement of this, obviously, it affects every community. I know our community, we had a loss this year with the stillbirth, and it is being there to support the family, having the outreach. I want to thank you, Supervisor Pyska, for sending some information on resources, but it's so important that we're there to just give the support that's needed through the family. So this recognition today is the right thing to do, and we'll continue that on. But it affects every community, every individual, and it hurts, and please reach out and ask for the help. That's all that I can say. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Anyone in the Zoom room? Okay. So the Wave of Light event is October 15th. It's a national event. Last year we had a really beautiful event at the county park, or library park. All families are welcome. We all light a candle at 7 o'clock, and as each time zone across the globe, people light candles at 7 o'clock. That's the wave of light that goes around the world. And so if you know anyone that wants to join us, where can they find information? Is it on Motherwise on their Facebook page?
Yes, it would be on Motherwise Facebook page.
Okay, and we'll include some of that information when we make this picture on the proclamation. Okay, so I'll open up for public comment.
Hi, Elaine Brown, educator. And first of all, I'm so sorry. I once had a friend who told me about 20 years ago what it was like to have a miscarriage, and I had no idea the bond you have even at that, even if it's an early term. And what I'd like to speak on is I talked to a friend who's a midwife, either with UCLA or USC, in a dinner one time, and I had an idea about ultrasounds causing problems to our children, because sound, if you do the research, if you're a musician, you know that sound can change water into looking like different snowflakes. And if we're putting that sound upon babies who are barely there, this could damage. And people think, well, how could that be? Who would do that? Well, in the light of COVID and the research I've done on COVID and babies being vaccinated and the rate of death that we're not hearing about, there is a genocide going on, a silent one, that people in power, don't like other people, and maybe you're targeted. And if you're a Christian, I can say that might be a targeting effect. So ultrasounds, maybe an elite would go in there and they would not be targeted with an ultrasound, but a Christian would go in there and they would turn up the volume of that ultrasound. Now, this is a theory that I talked to a midwife who works with USC or UCLA, and she concurred, and she's highly respected in her field. I don't know what to do to speak out. I've been told to go to these meetings and speak out because now it's on public record, and someone needs to look into it because it's publicly written down. So I just ask, if you want to go into, Robert Kennedy Jr. had yesterday on his website, Children's Defense, it talked about this. Thank you.
When families are going through this, sometimes really insensitive things are said to us. And it's hard not to take that personally. But I just want you to know that if you ever want to reach out to me, or Motherwise, or Lake Family Resource, or Hospice, all of these resources are available. These are incredibly sensitive people, compassionate people with big, big hearts. And I actually had grief counseling for a full year for free. So all of these are here to support our families. And it's not just the women, it's the men, it's the fathers, it's the brothers. All of us are affected by this. So thank you so much for joining us today.